to do with policy.
We're going to check in right now. Dan Haggerty has reaction, but I believe the governor is speaking in Columbus.
Frankly,
Let's check that out.
I've been involved in a lot of things, whether it's sporting activity or politics. When you get beat, you have to admit it, and you got to congratulate and shake the hands of those folks who prevailed. So I would initially like again to say congratulations. Secondly, it's clear that the people have spoken, and my view is when people speak in a campaign like this, in a referendum, you have to listen when you're a public servant. There isn't any question about that. I've heard their voices. I understand their decision, and frankly, I respect what people have to say in an effort like this. And as a result of that, it requires me to take a deep breath, and to spend some time reflecting on what happened here. You have a campaign like this, you give it your best. If you don't win and the people speak in a loud voice, you pay attention to what they have to say and you think about it. And so people ask, what will you do if this doesn't fail? I can tell you now it's a chance for me to catch my breath and try to gather my thoughts together as to what we do next. I will tell you that my priority from the time I began to run for this office and from the moment I was elected
Columbus, but there you saw Governor Kasich saying what he essentially said to me last week, that if this does fail, he will have to take a step back. He will look at this. He will let the voice of the people stand in the issue of Issue 2. It'll be interesting to see what Speaker Batchelder says, because Speaker Batchelder was saying that he feels that some of those provisions could be reintroduced last year. Governor Kasich down tonight. People that are up are with Dan Haggerty out at the airport tonight. And Dan, obviously they must be ecstatic with the news that they have won there this evening.
Yeah, you must be able to hear the music, John. That's about all I can hear right now. Senate Bill 5 has been repealed by Issue 2. And the crowd is happy. They just got done celebrating. Listen to some of the speakers. I'm joined by a few teachers. This is Mary. Mary, where do you teach?
I teach at John F. Kennedy High School.
What's the reaction right now from you and from some of your fellow teachers?
Well, I'm excited. I'm overwhelmed. And I feel like a weight has been lifted from me because I can finally get back to my students where I'm committed, because I make the difference every day. And I can get back to my family. I've been out working the polls, knocking on doors, and trying to get our opinion across about how unfair SB 5 was to the working community. And
how hard did this group of people work to get this message out?
Well, I've been working ever since SB 5 started, and I've been out pounding on doors, doing literature, making phone calls to the community and expressing our concerns about SB 5 and about how the ideal of taking collective bargaining away from the working people, was how unfair that was.
Well, Mary, I'm going to let you go back. I know you've been standing here beside me waiting to go on. You want to go celebrate now, I'm sure.
I'm happy. I'm ecstatic, and
Mary,
I'm ready to get back to my students.
And another woman I wanted to put on, Audrey, was it? Audrey, where are you a teacher?
I am a retired teacher from Stowe Monroe Falls City Schools. Can they zero in on this little button?
I got to talk to Rich up there. He'll try.
Oh, read it.
What's it say? Those who can teach, those who cannot, pass laws about teaching. That's your button.
That's my
How's
button.
the feeling right now?
It's the first step. What we need to do in November is remember all those people who are currently elected that voted yes on this bill and work our butts off to defeat them.
All right, Audrey, thank you very much. You can go celebrate as well, and she touched on it right there. This is about a bigger picture. It's about the entire country looking at what happened here tonight in Ohio. John?
Dan, thank you very much. The Democrats across the country really looking at this as an opportunity for next year. The groundwork that these teachers behind you laid in the unions, this is the framework that they're going to use in next year's election.
He's taking questions.
Governor's taking questions. We want to listen in to what he has to say here.
And I'll continue to do that, but part of leading is is listening to what, and hearing what people have to say to you.
Governor, do you see tonight's results having any implications or signal any trends for 2012 as we enter the legislature?
You know, I don't think about those kinds of things. Griff, what I think about in this state every day is, did we get another CEO to make a commitment? Did we get another entrepreneur established? And look, we continue to have a very difficult situation in the state. But if you don't recognize the fact that we have had a hand directly in being able to save directly or to help create over 41,000 jobs. And when you think about that, 41,000 families, assume 3 people in a family, you could more than fill Ohio Stadium with people who have been helped. But there's so many more stadiums that need to be filled with people who are out of work. So every day I wake up, whether it's education, whether it's this issue to try to provide tools to local communities, it doesn't matter what it is. Everything we are doing is designed to get us to one place, to restore people to jobs in this state and to restore hope. And I think it is important for Ohioans to know that we've made some progress, but we have an awful long way to go before we sleep.